Good morning. I feel like I didn't feel it setting up to my proper specifications. But good morning. How's everyone today? It is snowing up here in the Northeast. It is snowing, and I have to go out today. All right, so the truth about sacred sexuality. Man, before I got on, I had all these thoughts in my head about what I was going to say and how I was going to say it, and it all completely flew out of my head just now. So let's just start from scratch. When I woke up this morning, I'm trying to think what prompted this like if there was a story behind what prompted this particular topic this morning. And I don't know if it was something that happened in one of my dreams or what, but I just, good morning all. So a lot of people think that sacred sexuality is about learning how to have better sex. Oh, because I was thinking about, like, something came over me about not being passive in your sex life, being responsible for your sex life, and how a lot of people think that sacred sexuality is about having better orgasms, which it is, having better sex, which it is, but there's a lack of understanding of why that is. And if you've ever come to like a Black Tantra group retreat, for instance, because I'm also one of the co-founders of Black Tantra Group, and there are 4 of us, and we host retreats. Our last one was right before COVID hit in Charlotte, but we host retreats for people of the African diaspora to come and learn about sacred sexuality. And people are often surprised because they think if you're going to a Tantra retreat that it's all about sex. And it's not. Sex is actually, like, you don't have to teach people how to have sex. Well, I mean, technically, right? Here are the basics. Thing, right? So mechanically, we can all understand how to do that. What sacred sexuality is about is you dealing with your trauma, your issues, your energetic vibration, understanding the truth of who you are, your connection to the divine. All of that is what creates better sex. So it's not the sex first. It's because you have shifted as an individual, and because you have grown and changed as an individual, that the sex is better. And I think this is on my mind because I joined a Facebook group here, and that's been a long time since I've joined like a regular Facebook group. I curate my space very carefully. But I realized that I need to see what's happening in the dating world, and I need to see what's happening in the world of people who are not involved in the community that I'm involved in, so I can stay grounded in what's happening. And so I'm in this singles group. I'm observing. My brain can't begin to post in there, but I'm in this singles group and I'm just reading the comments. And I'm also on Clubhouse. Sometimes I go into rooms that talk about dating, and I'm listening to people. And the reason why sacred sexuality is so important is because it helps you deal with the shit that's causing people to have these crappy relationships. Like, the idea to me that there's still women walking around in 2020 saying there are no good men is baffling to me. Because I know tons of good men, and I'm like, where are you looking? The idea in 2020 that men are still complaining about being used by women for money. I'm like, well, where are you looking? Where are you finding these people? And so it's clear, well, it's clear to me, but it's not clear to people that they are passively involved in their sex life. Most people are not actively involved in their sex life. And when I say sex life, I'm not talking about the actual act of intercourse. I'm talking about people are passively involved in the folks that they're choosing to engage with. Because if they were actively involved, then they would stop for a minute to think about who are they attracting and why. But no one's doing that. It's like they're still putting the blame on the other. If the men would do this, if the women would do that, then it would change, then it would shift. And it's like, well, why do you think that you keep attracting these people? And the answer is because that's all that's out there. The folks aren't even ready to dig into the shit. Now, on one of the Clubhouse rooms, someone did say, thankfully, yes. And I could feel the silence. So Clubhouse is audio only, you don't see people, but I could feel the silence of folks as this truth dropped in when this man said, people are looking to fill the holes of what they didn't get when they were growing up, and they're looking to recreate issues and dramas and traumas that happened in their parents and in their families and so forth and so on, and not even realizing that they're looking to do it. And I'm not like this, but I could feel the and it's like in 2020, folks are still not grasping the idea that the relationships in your life are a direct reflection of how you feel about yourself. The relationships are not about the other people. Your relationships are a direct reflection of how you feel about yourself. As adults, I'm not talking about children. And so we need to begin to be responsible for our sex lives. And the truth is that one of the reasons I don't talk a lot about sex is because in all versions of sacred sexuality, right? Tantra is not the only one. And a lot of what's taught in the Western United States is called neo-tantra. It's kind of like neo-paganism. It's not quite it, but it's been commercialized to be like, ooh, yeah, exciting. And so couples go because they want to learn how to have extended massive orgasms. But you can't have an extended massive orgasm if your body isn't even open to receive the pleasure of orgasm, right? What people don't understand is that within sacred sexuality, the reason why it's sacred and was often kept secret is because it requires you to up-level yourself. And a lot of humans, slowly but surely we're getting there, but a lot of humans don't want to do the work that is required in order for that to happen. It is sacred. In the historical forms of sacred sexuality, you couldn't go to a class. The teacher had to choose you. It was very same thing with martial arts. It's the same thinking. I couldn't just go to learn Hindu Tantra, and just show up at a door hey, I'm here to learn. You got classes? Teacher would have been like, no, I'm not teaching you. Well, probably not me, because it'd have been hey, we've been waiting for you. But average, just no, you couldn't do that. Because what is taught, the mantras, the prayers, the devotion, the commitment, before you even get to the sex, is a lot for a lot of people to hold and to handle. Sacred sexuality is not about only you give him better head, which I've taught, and I'll probably teach again. But with some other, and here's the thing, if you've taken my class, on oral lovemaking, it was never just about oral sex. It was not. There was a whole discussion about emotions and being able to receive and opening up oneself and being in tune with your partner. It was never just about the technique. Nobody gives a shit, by the way. Just saying. Your technique could be bomb. If your energy is fucked, it's still gonna suck. It'll be all right, but it won't be the same as the energy that comes from someone else. That's what sacred sexuality is truly about. Changing your vibration and your energetic signature so that, you know what, no matter how you're having your sex, it's going to be bomb ass because your energy just brings that in. You can have sex with just about anybody and it's going to be good because you're good. And the reason why sex is bad is because someone that's passive sex. They're waiting for the other person to give them the pleasure, which is why I keep with that shit with the men are not responsible for women's orgasms, because women are notorious for making men responsible for their pleasure and then complaining when they don't get what they want without even telling the man what they desired. The fuck? That's passive sex. That's a passive sex life. When you're actively engaged in your sex and in your sex life, your sex is going to be good. What are you complaining about? First of all, your vibration helped you choose the right person for whatever that experience was that you were meant to have. You understand that it is an experience. You understand that there's something for you to learn, gain, understand more about yourself out of this experience. You are open to receiving all of the pleasure that can possibly come from this experience. And you're not dependent on that person for the experience, but you've invited them into your life to share the experience with you. That's a huge key difference. You're sharing an experience as opposed to that sex was whack. Same thing for men, by the way. Talk about, yeah, that pussy wouldn't. You're sharing the experience with someone. And imagine how different everyone would come to sex if they thought about it that way. Just let that terminology run around in your brain. I'm sharing an experience with someone. I'm sharing my energy with this person. Do I want to share my energy? Because see, it seems like it's easier for us to just like share body parts. But if you say, do I want to share my energy? It's kind of like, I don't know. My energy is a little special to me. I don't know if my pussy is, but my energy is a little special. I don't think I want to. I know she's calling for it, but I don't feel it. You start approaching it a little differently. So for my teaching, this is why when I do my live streams, if y'all notice, I really don't talk a lot about sex because people are not ready for the type of sex that happens when you start learning about sacred sexuality. And in fact, it is dangerous and detrimental to teach about the aspects of sacred sexuality to people who have not yet worked through their shit, because you can become attached to someone because of the energy that they have going and find your brain just like fiending for it, like I need to have, like, that was amazing. You have sex with someone who studies sacred sexuality and they open something in you that you don't understand, that you're not ready to have opened. You can have sex with somebody and just bring up all the shit. If a person hasn't done their work, no, it's just not, it's not wise. There are levels to this shit. And you will find that in the sacred sexuality community, we don't have a whole ton of sex with a whole ton of people. We don't. We might have a lot of sex with very few people who we've already vetted and know this is what they're about, and we understand and we work through our shit. We have partners or a partner who is doing the same thing, but we're not just out here fucking to be fucking. No, that it is dangerous and detrimental, and it is not fair to people who are still living completely in their ego. That's just the truth of that. So when you're coming to, learning about sacred sexuality, meditation is a requirement. It's not a it's a requirement. Daily. What you eat, how you process your food, how much water you drink, how you're treating your body. Folks ain't ready for that. The Doritos and Coke are still calling their name. They're not ready for that. I'm not over here. I'm not vegan. All right. Not that I think vegan is the shit either, but I'm aware and I pay attention to the food I eat, and I pay attention to why I'm eating the food that I'm eating. There are literally whole books. I have them on how food affects the body, on your energetic systems. Y'all can find them. But in sacred sexuality, that's part of it. The things you say, the words you use, that's being actively involved in your sex life. And sometimes, often for many of us, it has meant going for months, for some people years, without having any sex at all while you get your shit together. And so it's interesting being in this group. I can't be in there very often because the more you do this type of work, the more you open up yourself. I have gotten to the point where I do daily or every other day shielding of my energy. So when I go into a group, even though it's just words, your words carry vibration, right? Even if it's typed, it carries vibration. Go into this group and you can feel, and everyone's an empath, so I'm not gonna sit there and say, so I'm an empath and I feel that. No, we're all empathic. And that's the thing. Doing this work will open you up more to feeling the energy of other people, which leads me back to what I said before, how it's dangerous, because you get open to somebody's energy, they fuck you good, and then you're like, when can I see you again? We're not trying to have any of that. So, I read the posts, and all I feel is pain. It's pain. The men are so scared. They're so scared. They can't even put words to their fear. They're so afraid. The women are just as scared. The men are afraid of not being seen. Somebody, the question is something, I don't want to say too much but it's something about why ghosting people, and it turned into a financial conversation, and people are so focused on money, and it's not the money that's the issue. It's really what the money represents and what the money has come to represent, especially for Black folks, because we haven't had a lot. And so we think that we're being free, but really that's all a scarcity mentality. I am telling you all, when you are afraid of dealing with your money, of giving of your money, that is a scarcity mentality, and you are still living in lack. No matter what your fucking bank account says, you are still broke. You are still poor, because in your mind, you are still poor. And you're so scared of losing it and being used for it. That's a lack mentality, and we have to shift that. We must shift that part before you'll even talk about, having a 30-minute orgasm. First of all, you can't have a 30-minute orgasm when you've got if you still have a scarcity mentality. It just, your body won't let you do it. As a man, you won't be able to have multiple orgasms, which men can. You won't be able to do it if you still got a scarcity mentality. It's not gonna, your psyche, because it goes hand in hand. The money, the sex, it's receiving. It reminds me of little Kim song, Money, Power, and Respect are the keys to life. She wasn't wrong. She wasn't wrong. The way it was presented, a little cringeworthy. I still listen, but she wasn't wrong. Money, power, and respect. Keys to life, money, power, and respect. It's what you need in life. Personal power. Absolutely. Personal power. It's money, power, and respect. I'm saying money, power, and sex in my head. But she wasn't wrong. All right, that took me off my track because now the song is running through my head. This is what happens when you go live and you just like veer off of the thought process. And that's my brain does that. It's like squirrel. It's like, oh, we're over here now. Okay, so scarcity mentality. This is what's happening. I'm scared. There's a lack. There's not enough love. There's not enough this. There's not enough money. There's still this idea that there's not enough. There's an idea that I'm not enough. Right? I'm not enough. I'm lacking, because what's out there is inward. Some people think they have to prove themselves by taking women out on expensive dates. Like they have to prove themselves. Some women think they got to get, because it's not going to happen again. They got to get what they can out of this because it's about survival. It's about safety. Women who are looking for that are looking for safety. That's a survival mechanism. And it's not anthropologically wrong, right? When you think about it, if you take money out of the equation as a woman, it is your focus to keep you and your offspring safe. We're not hunter-gatherers anymore. We're not foragers. That would have been currency in a way, right? And so in our modern time, that looks like money. But the base of it is still the same. I need this to feel safe. I need this to feel secure. I need this to know that I'm going to survive and I'm going to be all right. It's not about the money. And see, what sacred sexuality does is it tears all that shit away. And you can understand why some people are not ready to let go of those ideas. They are not ready to let go of those ideas. People very much enjoy being irresponsible and being the victim of other people's decisions and their own life. Because to be responsible for your life is to go, hold up. You mean to tell me that all those times that I chose those dudes, it wasn't their fault? That I was not in a space where I felt like I deserved any better than that treatment? That hurts. Like I did that to myself? I did that to myself. Yeah, you did. But now that you know that, what can you change so you no longer do it to yourself? Yeah, a lot of people aren't ready for that. It's a lot easier to say, yeah, all these dudes are fuckboys. I'm still out here searching, but I can't find one because they're all fuckboys. Fuckboys goes out, fuckboys goes out, fuckboys comes back, fuckboys comes back. I see only fuckboys. Well, fuckboys is all I see. Sacred sexuality says there are no fuckboys. Sacred sexuality says there are no women who are looking to only get your money. Sacred sexuality says, let's deal with the real reason why you're looking to be in a relationship. and let's uncover the hidden hurts that you have. Let's work through your trauma. And it's different for different people. Someone posted something I saw, and it's so correct. Like, don't assume that someone else's thing wasn't traumatic for them just because you don't think it was the same pain as your pain, or you were able to get past it. The human psyche is a very interesting animal. And two people can go through the same thing, and one come out like, all right, and another person be completely destroyed. We don't have the right to determine for someone else what should not have been painful in their life. We don't get to say that. So some people might have felt abandoned if they were a latchkey kid. And this is not a blame, right? And that's another thing, like, we're so scared to be blamed for something. We're so scared to do shit wrong. You're human. You're going to do a fucking lot of shit wrong. There's no perfect way to parent or to be in this realm. So some kids might have felt abandoned for that. Some kids were beat and think that was just normal. That's how it is, not understanding that those beatings helped reinforce this idea that they are not good people. And if you think you're not a good person, you don't think you deserve to be with good people. First of all, good is weird, but I'm going to use that word because that's what people are used to using. And so you keep choosing people who aren't great. Some of us grew up in families where there was alcoholism, but that's just what it was, not understanding how that perpetuates this idea of codependency. And especially in the Black community, where we don't value, or have not, we do now, did not value mental health, because we were just supposed to forge on, be strong, get through it like we had done. We didn't stop to take time to look at the issues that create the ideas that we have, that then get filtered into the people that we choose, that then delve into the children that we have, and so on and so on and so on. And sacred sexuality says we're going to destroy all that shit before you get to mind-blowing orgasms. We are dismantling your ego in ways that you could not examine, that you could not know. We are going to allow the truth of who you are and your soul and spirit to flow through you. And some people aren't ready for that, because it's a huge responsibility. So the truth about sacred sexuality is that it is not about sex. The great sex is the outcome of you dealing with your shit and letting it go, so that you can be free to experience an orgasm in your heart, in your throat, in your third eye, and in your crown, not just centralized in the nervous system of your genitalia. That you can expand that orgasm throughout your whole entire body and allow that energy to do this to you all fucking day long, just like that. I shouldn't have done it. But it's true. Now I'm in it right now, so I'm gonna have to get off because it's Facebook. That's what happens when you clear the field, and that's what sacred sexuality does. That is what I teach. And we also, then we can go into some better sex stuff too. Anyway, if you're a woman in the sensual energy coven, we're going to be doing a little bit of this delving into, I feel like this is why I don't like mascara sometimes. I feel like it's running somewhere on the side of my eye. Solstice alchemy is happening in the sensual energy coven. It is for women. We will be delving into your soul's desires. We will be working through some of these things, and not on as deep a level as we would in like Vixen, for instance, that's going to start in February, or if we were working one-on-one. I mean, just because it's a, it's a big group, and it's going to be daily, so it's going to be quick. So I can't go as deep as I'd like. So I might stretch some things out, but we are going to start doing this and unraveling this, because the bodies of women are beautiful, and we are designed to receive pleasure. We are just designed for that. And it pains me that women are not receiving the pleasure. And I'm not just talking about sex, I'm talking about all of it, all of it, all of it. And the more we open ourselves up to receive pleasure, ladies, the more the men shift. The more we open ourselves up to receive pleasure, and the more in tune we are with ourselves and who we're choosing, the more the men shift. I'm not saying we're responsible for their actions. I'm saying that our energy has a huge effect on them. Not all of them, just in general. Because there's still going to be some folks out there who are so deeply entrenched in their own pain that they won't shift, right? But in general, your energy will shift the men around you. Y'all need to go watch Carmen, not the end, because that's what happens when you're irresponsible with your energy. By the way, with Dorothy Dandridge, if you've ever watched that movie, like, she was in it. Like, her energy was just like, yes. Men and women were just looking at her wherever she went. But she was irresponsible with her energy. And she took it for granted a bit. Anyway, if you'd like to join the coven, DM me. Let's have a conversation about it. See if this is if this is what you're ready for, if this is what's right for you. And we will be doing solstice alchemy in there. It'll be a minimum of 30 days. It might be 40. I'm not sure. I don't know. Vixen will start in February, but I'll talk more about that after the holidays, because I'm still letting that run through my system a little bit. I did put some feelers out there, and we'll see what happens. All right, let me get on up off of here and get started with my day. I love you all. Go be expansive. Go do something pleasurable. Feel into your shit. And hey, next time you self-pleasure, try not using a toy, and try doing it for 45 minutes. Just allow yourself to just be in the space of the pleasure that you're providing yourself for 45 minutes without the expectation of a climax. How about that? And some of y'all are like, the fuck would I be doing that for without a climax? See, we're going to get deep into that in the Central Energy Coven. We're going to talk about that. All right, I love you. Enjoy your day.